Was it really a happy ending?
I'm telling you, these.
Wow.
See what you started, Mike?
I know. Hey,
So,
leave it to Kyle.
so
Sorry.
Alex, did we
Sorry.
keep our PG rating?
Even though Kyle doesn't know it, there's been a lot that's been going on this week. Trump's CFO or former CFO Weisselman going to jail for a little bit. Rikers Island. Abraham Lincoln potentially running for president. Inflation Reduction Act. Abraham Lincoln. She thinks she's Abraham Lincoln now. We have.
We're ready for one today.
We have.
Good morning.
Everybody's finally realizing all it took for everybody was apparently to put on their sunglasses, like Aviator Joe told them to figure out that the Inflation Reduction Act is going to have nothing to do with reducing inflation.
You planned for this, Aviator Joe.
No, I've just been paying attention.
You challenged him, Kyle. Look what you
did.
created.
You created a monster.
I did. But it's good.
That's
It's a good monster.
their new thing, right? They first came out with Dark Brandon, right, with the laser eyes.
Yeah.
Pull up that meme, Alex. But now they got Aviator Joe. They're trying to. Apparently, all it takes to go from being a moron to being cool is put on some sunglasses.
Can we go back to Sleepy Joe? Is that?
That's who he really is.
Or Bicycle Joe?
Liz Braham.
Hey,
Can't ride a bicycle, Joe?
Liz Braham.
Did you
Abraham
guys know
Lincoln?
that it's actually trending on social media? These people that are falling over on bicycles mimicking that's a real thing. People are setting up photos and anyways, it's actually not that funny. It's very funny. It's not that funny, it's very funny.
Incredibly funny.
You know what? Our first lady should step in a little more.
I didn't think anyone was gonna somehow make Trump look good after the mess that kind of was it happened.
The midnight tweeting.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, he's so great, but he's his own worst enemy. Like, oh, okay. It's like you challenge someone to beat you at what you did. It's like,
I don't know
okay,
if you've been
he did
paying
it.
attention, but Trump's been not tweeting because they still anyway.
Yeah.
Jack Dorsey took care of that. But on True Social, Trump's been saying, "Oh yeah, like he was praising Jerry Nadler and praising all these other Democrats."
Yeah, he just endorsed two Democrats.
Right. But he's gaslighting them, right? So
I think it's a good play.
Oh, yeah,
Support
of course he
what
is.
he is gaslighting. He's like, you're really good. You almost beat me at but I'm really good. It just
well, if he endorses them, none of the Democrats are like, "Oh, we can't vote for that guy. Trump likes him."
Yeah. Well, what's funny? Did you hear the endorsement? So he goes, Tom, you're great. You're really good, and I know you're really good because you almost beat me, and it reminded me how good I am. So you're really good to remind me how good I am.
Backhanded compliment.
Yes. But what's funny? I think it was a good play because he endorsed a Democrat, which I think is his attempt at saying he can cater to a little bit of both sides, maybe? Like, is that what's really at play? He's like, hey, I'm not totally right-wing. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to appeal to more people. It might be a good move.
Trump is a lot smarter than very few people give him credit for how smart he is, right?
Look what he's built.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't do that on the back of, like, mom and dad's money, right? I mean, he's been a successful businessman.
Yeah, yeah. But so we have Liz Cheney coming out this week, and she was trying to run for I believe it was House Representative for Wyoming, and
she didn't get it.
No, but
years of family passing down the torch.
Yeah. At the end, she was like, "Hey, Democrats, like the Republicans don't want to vote for me. Will you vote for me? I'm really a Democrat. I just have an R behind my name." The thing is, and I did a little short on this. I thought it was funny, at least.
It was funny. I thought it was funny too.
I said, the Democrats don't want to vote for you because you got the R behind your name. The Republicans don't want to vote for you because you're a rhino, Republican in name only. You're the one leading the charge against who's got the popular majority of the Republicans.
And so now she wants to run it sounds like she might run for president.
It reminds me of Chase 2, Rabbits Catch None. Pick a side.
Right.
You're Democrat or you're Republican.
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything.
Yep.
Right? So
But she has too much.
So is she running for president?
Well,
and it's like you couldn't win Wyoming.
Thinking about
she hinted.
But then she compared herself to Abraham Lincoln also.
So what would she be running as?
Independent? I don't know.
Guys, can I say that I think we're redefining ourselves? Because I look at myself, I look at my family. I don't identify as a Republican. I am a conservative. I'm for the Republic. I'm a constitutionalist. Yeah. I want the Constitution. I want laws to stand for something, and I want people to pick a side. But I can't say I agree with all the things the Republicans do or the Democrats do. But I do like the Republic. I like America. I like patriotism.
So I'm pro-America.
Yeah, I'm
right?
pro-America.
I think that sums it up. Pro-America. It's bad whenever, because you have an American flag or because you say, hey, I believe in the Constitution, like it's like, oh, he must be a bigot.
Yeah.
He must be
A Nazi.
No, I just love America. Like, people don't realize how lucky we are
They
to be
don't.
born in America. I mean,
The
it is one of the
opportunities.
oh my
The
gosh,
opportunity.
people are dying to come here.
My friend-
and you have people here like Brittany Griner won't even stand for it. It's like, not to go into that again, because
My,
but
my friend Chuck Haddad, who was the patriarch for the Haddad Auto Mall in Kern County, or the car lots, he came over from Lebanon with $1,000 sewn in a suit, and he will tell me every day when he was alive, he's in heaven now, that America is a land of opportunity.
Oh
he
my
came
gosh,
over
absolutely.
with $1,000 sewn in his suit, planning never to go back, became an engineer at USC, but never went into engineering because he saw the path through ownership in car dealerships.
Yep.
And selling cars. But he says this is a land of opportunity.
He lived the American dream.
Yeah, he lived
I
the
think I
American
read
dream.
a study, something that said if you make $2 a day, you're richer than 50% of the world.
Mm-hmm.
In America, we're rich. People, it's always like that. People don't get how wildly blessed we are, that we're not being persecuted for everything that we do,
Yeah, yeah.
and we abuse it. But give too much, give people a good thing, and they get used to it, and they start expecting it like it's a privilege, like they're owed it. No, we fought for this, we worked for this, and it should be honored.
Yeah, we are. Well, there again is we look around the country in the news this week. We actually had a football coach killed at a high school football game. One of the Raven players, James Porsche, spoke out on the shooting and just said, "Isn't it?"
Was that the one that involved Aqib Talib or something? Is that the same story?
There's a lot behind it, and we'll wait to see what they come out with an investigation. It's just a sad state of affairs that somebody got killed for coaching at a game, even though they were having an argument. I mean, Mike, I was your coach.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of moments that we have on a field where it's tense, but it's a game.
Well, what's crazy, Tom, and I don't know if I ever told you this story, but when we were in Texas, Michael was playing tackle football, and I was here on business stuff in California, and my wife called me after the game. She's like, "Hey, you won't believe what happened. One of the coaches," and there was a bunch of racial slurs and everything else going on, but they said one of the coaches pulled a gun on the other coach at Michael's little league tackle football team.
It's not worth it.
The police all showed up. It was a big thing.
It's not worth it. It's a game,
Yeah.
And
it's ridiculous. to get
Cancel
to that
football
level.
coming soon, 2029. Just one more thing, it's gonna happen.
Hey, we're still playing football. But, Michael is anyway.
And as you go from that, which is it's a terrible thing, and I'm going to read his name, and rest in peace, Coach Mike Hickman. I mean,
Of what team?
He's just a youth football. I mean,
Oh,
high
it was
school.
youth football.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Wasn't professional.
Because
One of
there
the-
was something that happened on the NFL level where there was a guy involved too.
I know, but a player just spoke out and said, "What a sad state of affairs," which I agree.
Yeah.
That we're taking. I didn't even know Mikey's team had that.
Yeah.
Then this week you got Fernando Tatis Jr. getting suspended 80 games for a banned substance. I've been telling people forever. I mean, there again, PEDs. I spent my life in PEDs. I had stage 4 liver disease, which now is stage 2, with a lot of effort. And I had a heart problem, which is anabolic induced because it hardens arteries. So as you're out there, steroids aren't good, but now we got a new synthetic. And then this is something that I know that the industry are catching, and I'm glad they caught him. And I'm glad the suspension is heavy enough. Where it's 80 games. So this could actually, in the Padres, run for the World Series because he was their superstar. So you did something. It's a new steroid. So the IOC Olympic Committee, the testing organization for all sports, has been on stuff because you look at the athletes nowadays.
Well, it's about half the year, right?
Yeah.
Half year
I'm just saying
suspension?
it, guys. PEDs, and I made the choice. So I'm standing in the shoes of somebody who's been there with health problems. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Tarnish the trophies. Tarnish.
Not to go totally off topic, just a yes or no, because this is kind of controversial. Is pre-workout bad for you?
Well, it depends on what's in the pre-workout because there could be pro hormones which could lead for a steroidal
Okay.
or
It's a
an
deep
anabolic.
question. Yeah, I don't want to derail it. Sorry. I've been hearing that, and I'm like, I tried working out without pre-workout today. It's tough.
Well, because
It is
mainly it's the stimulant in it
Yeah.
that really affects it, and so if there's a lot of things. But I am getting
So-
ready. Can I announce it here?
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to do a show called Muscles Matter. And I'm talking about kind of a play on words. Muscles do matter when you get older. I'm glad I'm working out. But there's matters about muscles that you have to take in consideration. Like you have to be age appropriate. There again, I mean, when I'm 64, I'm not working out like a 22-year-old. Or Mike, you Kyle. I'm just not. You guys are smoking me. But I do need to work out because osteoporosis.
Yep.
So I'm going to bring a show called Muscles Matters. And we're going to talk about that pre-workout. So I'm glad you brought that up. But I'm just saying, there's got to be a better way because I do know that the game gets bigger and faster. I've been watching the preseason from the NFL. That's good
What
games.
about Deshaun Watson? That was decided today.
Well, I know. So
He's like, I'm innocent. All these 20 women are crazy.
Okay. Well, basically, you've settled out of court.
Yeah.
So what does that say, Kyle?
Yeah.
In the business world, I took money and I settled my differences. So am
He's
I
gone
in
for 11 games, I think it is.
Yeah.
It's like, was it worth it?
Well, there again, because
Was it really a happy ending?
I'm telling you, these.
Wow.
See what you started, Mike?
I know. Hey.
So,
Leave it to Kyle.
So
Sorry.
Alex, do we
Sorry.
keep our PG rating? but I'm just saying, you watch the NFL preseason, these guys are great up into the third string. They're fighting for their jobs, and it's good football.
Yeah.
I've been watching it going, it's good football. So you take a Deshaun Watson or Tejadas that are going to be gone for half the season, there's somebody there knocking on the door. So it's not worth the risk of getting caught. And I've seen the players. I know what bodies are like. I know what pushes you over the edge. There's edgy stuff out there in professional athletics. The thing now, I'm going to get to the thing that really bothers me is it branches down into the youth level. I've had so many fathers come up to me and go, so what age should my son elbow me and go do stuff? I go, are we talking about anabolic steroids? I go, we shouldn't at all. I didn't start any anabolics until I was 21 years old. I went through my teenage years. Use up the hormones that you got because that's amazing what kids at 16 years old produce. They got a manufacturing a pharmacy in their body that is just giving them hormones and energy and ability. Use that. Lift weights. Weights used to be performance enhancing in the 60s. There's a picture of Lynn Dawson smoking a cigarette at the halftime of the game. They were like, we don't need to work out. They were beasts back then. They were just human specimens. So I'm just saying it's not worth it, but I'm glad to see that they're making it sting now because it's not worth it to see the kids come up under that. And there again, you even take Aaron Rodgers who's talking about psychedelics. It's like, why put this stuff in these kids' heads? That you need something else to be a superstar, which only a percentage. My daughter, when she went away to play at the university level tennis, I said, honey, you're in the 0.01%. Because that's all that goes on to college. Then there's a 0.05% of college athletes that go on to pros. It's not all. I got to compete in the professional ranks of bodybuilding. It's what it takes. You've got to be risky, and it's not worth it. It is not worth it.
Yeah. So you mentioned this guy's going to be gone for half a season,
80
right?
games.
So talking about being gone for half a season, Aviator Joe just signed into law this Inflation Reduction Act.
That isn't reduction.
Hey, when does that kick in? When should we start feeling the results of this
Okay,
Inflation
so
Reduction Act?
we've been talking about it for a few weeks here on this
Okay.
show.
You can't use price going up $3 coming down $1.
Right.
That's still $2 above.
First of all, everything else is going up, but the gas has come down a little bit.
Okay.
So it's offsetting
But it was
inflation, right? It
What is it?
was up like double.
3 steps back, 1 step forward.
Right, but we're at a point now where MSNBC, CNN, all the liberal media is saying, hey, actually, that
It's not working.
And even the Federal Reserve is saying, oh, it's going to have a very minimal, if any, impact on inflation. And even Manchin, who we thought was a friendly, and apparently he sold us out, has even come to admit, oh yeah, that was just a marketing ploy.
All I can say is it makes me feel really comfortable knowing IRS agents are going to be armed. Said no one ever, ever.
Oh, so I saw a little clip of the training for the IRS agents. It was kind of scary, honestly. More than
In all seriousness, like
Tactical
okay, so
shooting drills.
yeah, exactly.
that's insane.
Yes,
So and also,
yeah.
like, at what point do we stop allowing this insane taxation for nonsense?
Vote.
Like,
Vote. That's what you have to do.
At what point, like, I think history says like at some point people have a breaking point.
They do.
Yeah, but
I think they're broke, Kyle.
now
It's
they're
getting
pushing
there.
with
But
this.
like, how did this go through? Yeah, I mean, this is crazy.
Because
Everybody.
it got voted on in the Senate
Well,
and the
no,
House.
no, I know, and then
Because the marketing Inflation Reduction
Don't
Act,
get
'cause
Mike started
everybody
on the
wants-
process of.
Everybody wants the inflation to be reduced, right? Yeah, I want that too. If you guys don't want that, I'm sure you do. If you didn't want that, I'd kick you out of here. But the
you
thing
do
is,
that?
it's just a marketing tactic, right? It has nothing to do with reducing inflation. So they're saying, oh, well, Joe Biden got something done. Thanks, Aviator Joe, for selling us out.
but that's what I mean. Like,
We're supposedly
it's not
reducing
doing
the cost
anything.
of prescription drugs. I can debunk that very quickly, but
well, Mark Cuban already did that.
It has nothing to do
Mark
with
Cuban
reducing the
already
cost of
started
inflation drugs.
an at cost.
It's supposedly supposed to help with the climate change, which that's a whole debate in itself. But even all the climate change experts are coming out and saying, oh, it's going to have almost no impact on climate change. All the things that it's supposed to do. But hey, Biden got something done. Yeah, he spent a bunch of money on absolutely nothing.
That we're not going to see a return on.
Sorry, I get going. I get excited.
Well,
about
that's
this
why it's
stuff,
called
but-
relative rants. Don't turn us off just because of our opinions, because I do believe, I'm going to go back to again, that we have to talk. That's why I think we have to redefine ourselves as what we are, what we stand for. Here at 511 Media Group, we stand for faith, family, and freedom.
Yep.
You know, it could be in Christ, or it can be in our country where we have faith, freedom of religion, we have freedom.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so as we have these things, we need to express them, and we have family still, and that's something that everybody out there should appreciate. You know, and that's a great thing too, because I think even having biological family, you can have spiritual family. Kyle, you and your brother are like family to me. Mike, you're like family to me. I mean, you're never going to destroy that need for community, and I think that's the thing we got to strengthen.
Yeah.
Not only the nuclear family, but the fact that we all know John L. Ward, who has Kicks for Kids. He brings in the foster kids who have no family into a family structure.
It's just crazy to me that you can do this entire thing and have like, if I were to sit here and try and justify as a businessman, and we're all in business to some capacity, you are as well, even if you're working for somebody. The thing is, like, you would never bring something to the table, present it to the boss, and say, hey, I've got this really big plan. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of effort. It's going to have a lot of moving parts, and we will almost have no return on investment.
And it's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, it'll cost a lot of money. It's going to require a lot of moving parts, and essentially it won't do anything. You'd like, okay, are you dumb for bringing this up, or why did you waste our time? Is how it would be handled
Why
in
did
the
we
business
hire
world.
you?
Yes, but like the fact that like
You might even get fired depending on the business.
that's what I'm saying. Like to me, I'm like, don't waste my time with this, and it sounds like we're wasting a lot of time with this.
Oh,
Well,
and money.
I
And
think
money, yeah.
I think if you put it in the business sense,
Well, who's
we're-
paying for it? Whose money is it wasting?
Well, the taxpayer.
of course.
That's at what point do people like
Well,
reach a breaking point?
and now it
there
seems
is
like-
a straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yeah, there is.
And like I said, and all of this, and then even the Mar-a-Lago stuff, like between the taxation stuff, between the Inflation Act.
Hey,
Now-
open the warrant. Read the warrant.
Well, the warrant's been out, but now they're talking about the affidavit, right?
Yeah.
So
Why?
the affidavit, for those of you who don't know, right, is basically what they present to the judge. It's
To give you
the
the
case
reason.
they lay out to get the warrant, right? So Trump has been saying, and I think most people are saying, hey, release it. Now they want a redacted version because they're like, oh, well, it's going to impact, an ongoing criminal case. I think it's going to impact the FBI because it's going to show how criminal they are. My opinion.
Well, if
Alex always makes me say that, but
Our opinion.
if we had our attorney Scott Winkler sitting there, Scott would be on the defense side, saying that you don't want to give all your ammo away to the other side right away. But I'm like, those things, and I've talked to a lot of attorneys and law enforcement. You make them vague enough to just get the warrant to go search, because you're not specific on what you're going to find. 'Cause you might find something else.
well,
And that's what they're worried about.
But Tom, this warrant that they issued was unprecedentedly, if that's a word, vague in what they allowed them to. I mean, that literally going through the ex-president's wives'
I'm glad that
underwear drawer.
I'm glad that you have video, because they didn't.
oh
turn,
yeah, Trump is threatening to release
Well,
the
he should.
footage.
He should.
Why not?
You should.
Yeah.
Show what they did.
I would like to know if they come to my house. I mean,
Yeah.
because I think the precedent set. If you're doing it at the top, you're going to do it at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah. Strategically, the timing of when he releases that is important, right? So you can say, hey, let me release it right before the election in 24. Yeah. But hey, maybe now. Who knows? But yeah, I agree. It should be released. And they're coming after.
So do you think this helps or hurts Trump?
I mean, it's definitely rallied the Republicans, the conservatives, more than anything else that could have possibly been done.
Do you think it's on par for how they've treated elected officials in the past,
no.
i.e. Hillary Clinton?
Is this a facetious question?
It's kind of like...
I mean, look at Hunter Biden. He's vacationing while the FBI...
I think Joe's vacationing.
Yeah, with them, in North Carolina, I believe it was.
While
they're supposedly going through a...
to me, it's such a slap in the face that we know this guy's a drug addict who's involved in so much corrupt business, and he just blatantly is in front of the camera with the president, knowing all of this commingling nonsense is going on. It's like, you literally have the audacity to like present yourself knowing all of this everything.
Well, I think
it just blows your mind.
I think it's back in our face because it's offensive.
That's what I mean. It's like Hillary Clinton. She made a hat that said, doesn't she own a hat that's brand a hat that says, but what about the emails? Like, that's not a joke. You literally deleted emails, and now you're slapping us in the face with
destroyed evidence.
And
that's a federal fine.
After being subpoenaed. So she has to have out and verify this, Alex, but I'm like 100% sure. I just heard it, and then I looked it up. I thought on a source, can't verify it, but there was literally a hat that she has branded, and it says, like, but what about the emails? That is crazy. That's a slap in the face. Same way old buddy Biden is like out here under investigation for all this stuff. The laptop. Hunter. I'm saying with like the drug situation, all of that. And it's like, and then you're just going to like parade around like, oh, but what are you going to do about it? And then you have Trump, who is just not given the same treatment at all. Not even a little bit.
Right. And you have,
it's not fair.
Who's the FBI director? His name's up on my mind right now. What? Merrick Garland. Supposedly saying, oh, the law should be applied equally. I agree. But let's actually do that and not just say it.
I agree.
Right.
I think human beings should be treated fairly. I've stated that several times on the show. So there needs to be that brought back into our discussion. And there again, I don't want to correct you guys, but I will, because we should be respectful. It is President Biden.
It is President Biden.
He's our president.
Yeah. And most of my comments are referring to his amazing scholar of a son.
And
Hunter.
believers should pray for our leaders, which I do.
Yeah, but I also think that this is important. My wife always says this: pay attention, because when they're diverting your attention to a big story, what are they trying to take your attention away from?
It's like magic act, sleight of hands.
Yeah.
Look what I have here. It's not what I'm doing here.
So they're doing everything they can to basically, obviously prosecute, but in my opinion, persecute Trump. Right, they're going after the business. Now his
it's been obvious.
CFO.
It's been obvious that they have, and I think we know enough now to know that the Russian conclusion wasn't it.
Oh yeah,
we know enough now.
Well, the CFO. It looks like he did commit some crimes. They changed his title to senior advisor, but he was still involved in, like, from what it looks like, still filling the same role.
If he was guilty, he's got to do time.
He's going to serve 100 days, more or less, like 3 months. But for tax evasion or something along those lines. But they're not. They're saying, hey, we want you to testify against the organization and against Trump. And if you don't, if you do, we'll give you 3 months. If you don't, we're going to give you 15 years. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing, right? Hey, you committed a crime, right?
But as our attorney Scott Winkler would say, that's something that's in.
It's in their playbook.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
But I think it's in everybody's playbook when you're having a defense attorney present your case. You know, that's called plea bargain, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So
I just wish it was a fair across the playing field. But what does that really say? That means they're truly scared that there might be a Trump presidency again if they're trying this hard to make sure. How long is this January 6th thing going to go on? That's like, at what point? And it was funny. I think it was Peter Ducey. He said,
Peter Ducey. He says,
how many times, you guys bring up Trump pretty frequently. She's like, no, we don't. He's like, no, yeah, you do. It's almost on a weekly basis.
It's never not been in front
Right.
of us.
It's like, you guys are building the guy up. And really, the smart move would be to let him bring himself down, because he'll do that. He's an idiot when it comes to tweeting, messaging, talking. Let him bury himself.
I was thinking about this morning, and I was thinking, Biden's approval rating is like in the tank. It's like at 38%. And
I think Jill would have a better approval rating.
Possibly. But
she is a doctor. Just don't call her if you ever need an emergency.
But the
You
thing
guys
is,
are on a roll today.
they can't bring forward a liberal Democrat candidate that's worth the darn. So hey, let's try to bring down Trump, because at least we can bring everyone down to the same level.
But they're hurting themselves,
right? And it's just blowing up in their face.
They
Trump
have
will
a
bury
common
himself.
target if they have Trump.
Yeah.
They've got a commonality, and they've got
Well, because they're
something
hoping
that
people
they
will
put
not
their-
vote for
on
their
a
guy,
dartboard.
but vote against.
And I'll just say
Trump.
it's par for course. Do you know how many stories there are? If you actually take the time to look and research it, how many stories and events that have happened, someone can be wearing a MAGA hat or a Trump hat, and they literally get assaulted, beaten, pepper sprayed, hurt, yelled at, kicked out of a restaurant. But if someone wears a Biden hat, you don't see Republicans doing that. And I'm not saying Republicans are righteous. There's some crazy people. But what I'm saying is it's a lot more common that if you stand for him, you're going to be, heckled. You're going to be something.
In America, you would want better treatment because we do have freedom of speech.
Right.
And you would want to see that upheld. And that's look at where that's going,
Yeah.
So it is. So our producer is telling us that we're out
Kicking
of
us
time.
out.
But he worked for you, Mike, so
You can override.
we're
Veto.
camera rolling.
Keep going.
So I love it. Love being on the air with you guys. And there again, it's our opinion. So write us if you want to complain. Talk to, what's your email, Mike?
Alex Howe at hey, we get a little passionate sometimes. I get
It's all
passionate.
fun.
I think
Isn't
Kyle
it
gets
crazy?
passionate.
It's
Because-
just fun.
But it's because we care, and Kyle and I have young children. Tom has grown children.
I'll have grandchildren one day, right, Danny and Tessa?
I care about the future that we're setting up for our children. That's why I get so passionate about it.
Taylor?
Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. God bless.